In this video, we'll be looking at the Max Character Interview Question. My name is Larry, and this is Digital Logic. To get started, you'll need to download the project from GitHub. A link is in the description below. I've also provided a link to the introduction video to the series, which will walk you through setting up your development environment. With that out of the way, let's get started. So I've already got the project open in IntelliJ, so I'll pop up the project browser and find the MaxChar class. The instructions for this challenge are that you need to write a method that will return the character in the provided string that repeats the most. Make sure to ignore capitalization, punctuation, and spaces. Once you have a solution that you're ready to test, you can press Ctrl-Shift-T to open up the test class. Then click on the little icon next to the class name to run the test. The test class will pick up any public method that you define that matches the expected signature, so you can provide multiple solutions, and the testing class will test all of them. So go ahead and pause the video now and try to come up with a solution to this challenge. When you're ready to continue, come back here and we'll walk through a couple different solutions. Welcome back. I'll start by creating some extra space, and then I'll rename this method to IntArray, and then delete the return null statement. And then I'll create a new IntArray charMap equals new IntArray, and set the length to 26. I'm setting the length to 26 because there are 26 letters in the alphabet, and each index in the charMap will be used to keep track of how many times that letter appears in the string. Next, create a matcher equals pattern.compile. I need a regex that I'll select just the letters in the string, so I'll use a set selector, a-z, and then call matcher, pass in the string, and call to lowercase. Now we just need to iterate through the match results. While matcher.find, then character C equals matcher.group. Group returns a string, so convert it to a character with the charEt method. Now increment the index in the charMap that the letter refers to. charMap at C, but we need to offset this character by subtracting the letter A. And then increment the counter at this index. So at this point, we have an accurate count for each letter in the string. Now we just need to find out which letter appears the most. Create a new init max equals 0, and then create a for loop, init I equals 1, I is less than charmap.length, and then increment I. Now we just need to do a simple comparison. So if charmap I is greater than charmap max. If it is, then set max to equal I. Now we just need to convert max back into a character and then into a string. Return string.valueOf, and we need to cast this to a char, and then max plus A. Save the file, press Ctrl-Shift-T to open up the test class, and then run the test. And make sure to check Show Passing to view the passing tests. And the solution has passed the test. So in this solution, we used an IntArray to maintain the character count within the string. We could just as easily use a hash map to maintain this count, and that's what we'll do in the next solution. So I'll create a new public static method named MaxCharMap. And then create a new map of type string init named charMap equals new hashmap. Pattern.compile, and then pass in the same regex that we used in the last solution. .match, and then pass in the string .to lowercase. And this time I'm going to call the results method, which returns a stream of match result. And then call for each, and then pass in a new lambda. What we need to do is go through each match result and add it into the char map. So call charMap.put. The key is r.group. The value will depend on if this char map already contains this key. If it does, we need to retrieve it and add 1 to it. If it doesn't, then we just set its value to 1. To do this, I'm going to use the charMap.get or default, retrieve the key, or 0, and then add 1 to it. Now we just need to retrieve the key that has the largest total within the char map. So return charMap.entrySet.stream.max. The max method accepts a comparator. A comparator is a function that takes 2 parameters and returns an integer. So for example, if we have 2 parameters, a and b, the comparator will return a positive integer if a is greater than b, a negative integer if b is greater than a, or 0 if they're equal. So I'll call a.getValue and subtract it from b.getValue. Notice that IntelliJ has grayed out this new lambda. The reason is because we can use a method reference in its place. So I'll comment out this line and then replace it with a call to map.entry.comparingByValue. The max method will return an optional with our entry, so I need to retrieve the value within it, and I'll use the or else throw method. And finally, we just need to retrieve the key within our entry set. Press Shift F10 to rerun the test, and it's passing. So in this solution, we have a pretty good separation between each step. First, we define the hash map, then we populate it with each character in the string, and then we retrieve the key with the largest count. But we could sequentially perform each of these steps within a single stream, and that's what we're going to do in the next solution. So I'll start out by creating a new public static method, and I'll name it MaxCharStream. And then return pattern.compile, pass in the same regex that we've been using, .matcher, pass in the string .toLowerCase, followed by results, which will return a stream of match results, followed by collect. So I'm going to use the collectors.toMap method to help facilitate transforming the stream into a hash map. The first parameter is the key mapper, and it defines how we will retrieve or how we'll define the key for this entry. And for this, I'll pass it a simple lambda that we'll call r.group. But we could replace this with a method reference. So I'll delete this line and then replace it with match result group. Now we need to define the value mapper. And for this, the default value when we retrieve a letter from the string will be to set it to 1. The final parameter defines the merge function, and it defines how we handle collisions within the hash map. So when we have 2 of the same letters appear, we need to sum their values together. So I'll use the integer sum method reference. So at this point, we have a hash map with the character count of the string. Now it's just a matter of retrieving the key that has the largest count. So call .entrySet.stream.max, and then pass in the map.entry.comparingByValue function. The max method will return an optional, so we need to retrieve the object within it, and I'll use the or else throw method. Then finally get the key with the getKey method. Press Shift F10 to rerun the test, and it passes the test. Well, that is it for this video. If you like this video, then please like, share, subscribe. And if you want to support the creation of these videos, then check out my Patreon page. A link is in the description below. And I'll see you in the next video.